At the height of the drought between 2015 and 2018, desperate attempts were made to reach the last remaining 10% of water that was left in the main water source of Cape Town, Theewaterskloof Dam. Severe water restrictions were in place, and as part of attempts to get water, 2 mobile desalination plants were set up. In use for 2 years, the plants delivered 2 billion litres of water. The city admits that desalination is extremely expensive. Estimates are that the construction, operations and desalination process ran close to R1 billion. The city says while the costs were very high, it deemed the plants as vital during the unprecedented disaster.
We were in the drought. We were days away from people queuing to get water filled in buckets. If we never had the desalination as an option at that stage, it would have meant that those residents would have been queuing much, much earlier. So I certainly don't consider it to be wasteful expenditure. It has certainly never ever been a finding of any institution within any level of the South African government, national, AG, etc. So I'm confident that the water produced then through those processes were necessary.
Badruddin says great lessons were learned and has enabled the city to improve its future planning. A permanent desalination plant is hoped to be in construction by 2028 with an estimated cost of R5 billion. It will be part of a number of alternative water sources to future-proof the city against droughts.
We as a city know that if we continue to rely on our surface water alone, our dams, we won't have enough water at the rate that the city is growing, especially from the numbers that we've seen in the census, most recent census. We can increase the dam wall so that it can save more water. But we also know that the weather pattern is so unpredictable, and whether or not we get those rains is something that we don't know until it actually happens, because you can project as much as what you want, but you only have the rain when it's raining. Yeah. So we know then that with that projected weather outcome, we have to absolutely make use of alternative water sources, which is why our capital budget alone in the Water and Sanitation Directorate over the past few years has been doubling year on year, from 2 billion when we started to 4 billion where we are now, and then 7.8 billion rand in the next coming year.
The new water program will also include a major water reuse aspect, which will entail the ultra-purification of effluents, as has been done for decades in Namibia, and tapping into 2 major aquifers, which are underground water sources. It's hoped that 300 million litres of water per day will be derived from these alternative sources by 2030. Mariska Botha, SABC News, Cape Town.